Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into some really profound ancient texts. Why? Because we're looking for answers to a question that feels more relevant than ever. In a world that's so complicated, how do we find a sense of clarity, of purpose, of duty? We're on the hunt for some timeless wisdom that can help us navigate the here and now.
So let's set the scene. We're starting on a battlefield of all places. But as you can see here, the real war isn't happening with swords and shields. It's happening inside the mind of one man, the great warrior Arjuna. He turns to his guide Krishna and basically says, "I'm lost. My mind is completely puzzled about my duty." He's having a full-blown crisis and he's begging for a clear answer.
And that right there is the question that kicks this whole thing off. It's Arjuna's problem, for sure. But, haven't we all been there? We hit those moments, those crossroads in life where there are no easy answers, and we just don't know which way to turn. What are you supposed to do?
There's actually a name for this feeling in Sanskrit, a Dharmasankat. You can think of it as a deep moral crisis, a crisis of your own personal duty. And it's from this exact moment of total confusion that one of the world's most incredible philosophical conversations begins.
And you can almost hear the desperation in Arjuna's voice here, can't you? He's saying, look, enough with the complicated ideas that are just confusing me more. Just tell me the one thing. Give me one clear path, one single discipline that will lead me to what's right. He wants a simple answer. But as we're about to find out, it's not quite that easy.
All right, so Krishna hears this and basically says, okay, let's break this down. There are a couple of ways to look at this. The very first path he lays out is for people who are naturally active, people who are engaged with the world. It's a path called karma yoga, the discipline of action.
And here is the absolute key to understanding karma yoga. It's not about what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're a warrior or a doctor or a painter. It's all about how you do it. The idea is to do your duty, whatever it is, with all your focus and skill, but then you have to completely let go of the outcome. No attachment to the praise, the money, the results. You just do the work.
And this verse just nails the point home. It says, go on efficiently doing your duty without attachment. Doing work without attachment, man attains the supreme. It even points to legendary figures like King Janaka, who supposedly reached perfection just by doing their jobs for the good of the world, without getting tangled up in the results.
Okay, so that's the path of action. But what if you're not that kind of person? What if your main goal isn't just to act rightly, but to find a real, deep, unshakable sense of inner peace? Well, Krishna has another path for that.
So Krishna lays it out plain and simple. He says, look, there are basically two main paths here. You've got karma yoga for the yogis, the active people out in the world, and then you have jnana yoga, the path of knowledge, for the more contemplative types, what the text calls the Sankhyas, who are philosophers focused on introspection and figuring out the true nature of reality.
I love this metaphor. It's so powerful. It says a wise person is like a vast ocean. All the rivers of life's experiences, pleasure, pain, success, failure, they all flow into the ocean. But the ocean itself, it's so immense that it remains completely calm and undisturbed. That's the kind of peace this path leads to.
So what does that kind of wisdom actually feel like? Well, it's about achieving this incredible sense of calm. The mind becomes steady in the face of what are called the pairs of opposites, things like heat and cold, joy and sorrow, even honor and dishonor. They just lose their power to throw you off balance. Your inner peace isn't dependent on what's happening outside.
All right, so we've got these two paths from the Bhagavad Gita, action and knowledge. But that's not the only source of wisdom out there. Other ancient texts, like the Puranas, took a totally different approach. They didn't use philosophical dialogue. They taught through huge, epic, cosmic stories.
And this slide really shows you the difference in style, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the Gita. It's dense, it's philosophical, it's a direct conversation. And on the right, from the Puranas, it's a narrative, it's a story, often with vivid imagery. Two very different ways to get to the same deep truths.
You can just picture it, right? The Puranas often kick off like this. A group of wise old sages get together in a forest and they start asking the biggest questions you can possibly imagine. How did the universe even begin? What is our place in all of this? What's the grand story we're a part of?
And instead of just focusing on the individual, the Puranas zoom way out. They talk about these massive cycles of time called Yugas. The world goes from an age of truth, down through ages of ritual and doubt, all the way to where we are now, the Kali Yuga, the age of conflict. It puts our own lives in this massive cosmic perspective.
And the stories themselves are just incredible, packed with layers of meaning. Get this one. King Prithu is chasing the earth, which has taken the form of a cow, because she stopped providing food for people. This story isn't just some fantasy. It's a symbolic tale about the invention of agriculture and the absolute duty of a leader to care for the land and their people.
Okay, so we've gone on quite a journey here, from Arjuna's personal crisis in the Gita to these huge cosmic tales in the Puranas. So what's the big takeaway from all of this? What does it all mean for our own search for clarity? Well, the biggest thing to realize is that there's no single right answer. These ancient texts don't give you a one-size-fits-all solution. Instead, they give you a toolkit. As you can see here, you've got the path of selfless action, the path of quiet wisdom, and the path of finding your place in a much bigger story.
And this is maybe the most beautiful part of it all. These paths aren't in competition with each other. They're not mutually exclusive. The real wisdom is in seeing them as different tools for different situations, or even for different people. They can all be blended together, all working toward the exact same goal, a life that feels meaningful and peaceful.
So that really brings it back to us here and now. In your own life, as you try to navigate everything, which of these ancient paths feels most useful to you? Is it selfless action? Is it inner reflection? Or is it finding comfort in being part of a much larger story? The search for clarity, it turns out, is as timeless as the wisdom itself. Thanks so much for joining.